Alrighty. Hello, hello, Lana. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing so good. I am also frozen again, so please don't mind me. I am super excited to chat with you this morning. So if you don't mind, let's just jump right into the interview.
Of course.
Tell me a little bit about your professional experience, if you will.
So, my professional experience, I originally started out right after high school volunteering at a hospital nearby because I was in the medical program at my high school. So, I started off there just to get a little experience, how it was working front desk, try to get as many hours as I could just before, getting hired somewhere so I could see how it is and if I like it. I did a lot of front desk there at the hospital, greeting patients, checking them in, scheduling their appointments, greeting them to their rooms, stuff like that. Then I moved a little bit over into sales. I worked at a couple stores. I was an assistant manager at one, did that for a while, and then I kind of moved back into the medical field. I was a caregiver for a while at a nursing home, along with intake specialist for a medical company. My most recent job was at a optical store, so a lot of medical patients there, checking them in, insurance, optical fitting, and all of that stuff.
It's amazing. And thank you so much for that introduction and giving me a little overview on your professional experience. Um, I want to talk a little bit about your most latest role being at Optic. Tell me a little bit about your day to day. I know you're a front desk there, but if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what your day to day looked like.
Of course. So in the mornings, I would open, get the system running, log into everything, check what patients we had coming in for that day. Day before we had patients scheduled, I would always call them about appointment reminders to see if they were coming or not. They needed to reschedule, make sure insurance and everything was confirmed beforehand, have everything ready, paperwork if they were new patients that they needed to fill out. And then our doctor would come in. Of course, our doctor wasn't there all the time, so we would have, days where we would just do fittings and sales with the glasses. We would have days where we had those appointments that we needed to get them checked in. We always had patients coming in to schedule, to ask when the doctor is in, so a lot of appointment scheduling for their fittings, to see what glasses they needed, lenses, all of that kind of stuff. So basically, a basic medical office.
Yeah, and a lot of customer service, from what I hear,
Yeah.
is a lot of communication with the customers, back and forth, whether it's in person. Were you communicating with because I know you're front desk, or were you also communicating with I don't know if they're called patients or customers via phone or email at all?
Yes, so lots of emails, again, appointment scheduling over the phone. We would get a lot
Right.
of calling to schedule appointments, had to confirm the appointments, call people when their glasses were ready for pickup. And again, we tried to build the pickup process as well so it wouldn't get overwhelmed in the office.
Amazing. And so what I can hear, there's a lot of multitasking, right? You're tackling the appointment settings,
Yes.
you're tackling the fittings, email communications, all of that fun stuff. So we know a front desk role is quite busy. So how were you able to really just organize yourself throughout the day?
So I always like to start by addressing immediate needs, the patients or guests that we have. So checking people in when they come in, greeting them immediately. And then I would prioritize our other tasks that weren't, my priority, then like scheduling, answering some emails. So whenever we had a patient or just somebody wandering in to look around for glasses, I would always prioritize them first and drop everything else because I was the only one working the front desk there.
It's amazing. And thank you for sharing that with me. When it comes down to systems that you've used, would you mind sharing that with me?
So we used mostly Flexus there for our scheduling, and I have worked before with Epic. I'm not sure what
Perfect.
system they use at this office, but I'm pretty familiar with most systems. The system that we used at my this optical job, I wasn't familiar with beforehand, but it was pretty easy to learn. Most of them are
Amazing.
similar.
Sounds like you're a fast learner. And then how about the Google Workplace or even Microsoft? Do you have experience using those tools or systems?
Yeah, I use those on a regular basis almost. I feel like everyone uses that.
That's great. That sounds perfect. Now, just a few more questions for you, Lana. As far as, because we know it's the holidays are coming up. So do you have any time off coming up at all that we should know about?
For the holidays, I would say I know it is right on the start, but January 7th is when I actually celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
So just that day that I
Perfect.
nothing else.
Perfect. So just the 7th, you'll need that day off for to celebrate the new year. Was it or Christmas? I'm
Christmas,
sorry.
yeah. I
Celebrate
believe
Christmas. Okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Perfect, perfect. I will definitely be sure to add that down to your notes here. And then I know I mentioned that for this role, we are looking to have someone start, no, the 5th, which is the first week of
Yeah.
January. Does that start date still work for you?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. And then in the case that my client says, I want to go ahead and interview Lana, would you be available for an interview perhaps sometime next week?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you as well. If there wasn't a face-to-face interview, if there was any chance I could come into the office just to, see.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely make that happen. A lot of the times the interviews are going to be in person as well. So we'll definitely get that set up with you when the time comes here. Awesome. Well, Lana, I just want to thank you for all the details you gave me and your time. I just want to go ahead and stop the recording, but if you don't mind, stick with me on the line. I want to chat with you.